It's great to have you, and I just wanted to honor you for all your service and all your hard work over your 20 years. You've left an amazing school for me to take over, so thank you very much.
It was a great gig.
Yeah?
And it's wonderful families, wonderful kids.
So you spent 20 years at the school?
20 years, longest I've ever been anywhere. I loved LaSalle, fell in love with it the first time I got here. I've only said this in the 40 years I've been a Catholic educator about LaSalle. If I had children, it's the only school I would send my children to.
Wow.
It's just a great place for a teenager. Student life is at LaSalle. They just enjoy each other's company. So it took us about probably 5 to 8 years to become what I call a majority-minority school. And you know, it worked. The students really worked. The teachers were committed to diversity in that regard and supported it. And we always wanted to make sure that our business model was tuition-supported financial aid. And I think that diversity really accelerates the kind of school culture that I think is so successful at LaSalle. And the critical component was Dr. Dino Claricio, an alum, and his wife hosted annually what we called the Gifts from the Heart. It showcased kids who were in the school as a program grew. We brought in alum to show what success they were generating. And that really sustained the program. So I'm thrilled that you're reaching for endowment. I remember one time, cute story, I would bring in some of the senior San Miguel students to talk to the Board of Trustees. And one of the students who went on to USC, the board chair asked him, how did he feel being a San Miguel scholar? And he said, like everybody else, one of the football players who played football with him turned to him and said, I didn't know you were a San Miguel scholar. That's success.
That's success. Well, no, that was built into it, right?
Right, exactly.
That they could come here, become who they need to become, and without anybody really understanding how they got here.
Exactly.
I mean, that's equity to its max.
Exactly. St. John Baptist de La Salle, when he founded his schools almost 400 years ago, insisted on equity, that every student, regardless of income level, were treated exactly the same, and that's been our focus.
Wow. And you know, the same thing holds true today. I see the San Miguel kids, and I've done the research now to know where they've gone to college and their success rates, and they're highly successful.
Right.
I mean, they're like any given component of the data of our graduates, they're right there doing the same thing or better. I mean, they're
investment bankers,
they're high achievers,
educators, entertainers. Well, it was a labor of love.
Yeah, but it took your leadership to do it. Two things that I would like to see. One, I would like to double the numbers because I think the need is there. These kids are important to me, and what they do for the school and what they give us is, I think, far greater than what we give them at the end of the day.
Right.
I want to find a way to make that sustainable. One is to build this endowment, and that's the Richard Gray Scholarship, in which this endowment over time can be built up, and every year philanthropic people can give to it if they would like to, and then we put money in from the school side. And then the other part of this two-prong is really try to find sponsorships for these kids. Right. So those sponsorships can come in. They can sponsor a San Miguel student for 4 years and be a part of their life, and then throw in a mentoring component. So some of these community members can get up close and personal with the great things the kids are doing and be a mentor to them for 4 years.
One question, and I'm glad you raised the issue of sponsorships, Perry, because I tried to focus on that while we built up the program, but just trying to make it financially sustainable soaked up all of my efforts. But I think it's critical to the long-term success of the program to have sponsors who are also mentors, because they'll give real-life experience. The students will know they care. So I applaud you for doing that. In this era of rising tuition costs and rising cost of living, we have to make sure that LaSalle is accessible to the diversity that we're trying to serve, and not be just a school for affluent students. So endowment is going to be critical to that long-term strategy.
We're so fortunate to have you here and your namesake on this scholarship. Those kids are real leaders in our school, so the endowment now is very, very important for us, and of course trying to find philanthropic people that want to help us with this
Right.
important mission. What would you say to those people when it comes down to how they give their money and the different places that they give money to different schools and to different nonprofits? Why LaSalle? Why give it to San Miguel endowment in your name rather than something else?
Whenever I went to alumni gatherings, I used to be a fan of saying, folks, I'm a big fan of gratitude.
Sure.
If you loved your experience at LaSalle, help us make sure that experience continues for the next generation of students, and we can't do it without your philanthropic support. And that's why I'm really proud of our mission. I'm proud that the Christian Brothers want to serve the poor as well as everybody else, because that's captivating. Because in Southern California, that's our world. And the only way to succeed in this world as a person, a good person, is to understand the value of rubbing shoulders with people who aren't like you.
Talk about gratitude. I mean, every San Miguel student that I've come around, they're so grateful. They're so grateful. They know, right? They know. And it's a sometimes I think too well kept of a secret.
Right.
Because the work that you've done to start this and the work that I'm doing to follow in your footsteps, this is God's work. They're just hard workers. They're fantastic people. I go back to the Christian Brothers, that first time when they said 5% of the population is going to be really important, and how you took the time to try to figure out how that's going to work. It's just one of those programs that's such a good feel.
And I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
This is the world that your children occupy now and will occupy. There's no better investment in a child's education, in my judgment, than sending them to LaSalle, where they get exposure to the kind of world they're going to experience when they grow up. Helping make that happen is critical, and it takes work and it takes philanthropic support, and we need your help to make sure that your child gets the best education academically, socially, and ready for college that is right for them. We can't do it without the diversity goals that we've been implementing over the last 20 years, and quite frankly, we need your help. Well, it's been a privilege for me for 20 years. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks for the time.
It's great to have you here today.
Best wishes for great success.
Thanks. And go San Miguel.
Go San Miguel.